Welcome to Reno, my doghouse, with your host, Farmer Jer for Doghouse Times. So what we're going to do in this series is walk you through a variety of easy-to-do renovations that you can do to your doghouse to winterize your doghouse, to make it mobile. That's right, a mobile doghouse, to make it more accessible and, above all, more comfortable for your dog. We're going to talk about a variety of other tips and tricks that you can do to prolong the life of your doghouse and to make it better suited for the climate that you're living in. So stay tuned for the first episode. So I've got these 4 swivel rollers, and these are what I'm going to use to attach to the bottom of the doghouse. It's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to drill some holes and add some screws, and then there's going to be the secret last touch, which I'm going to show you. And these are already pre-lubricated. You can see there's some grease around there, and they're ball bearings. They're nice and smooth, nice and greasy, and I'm just going to wipe them down so that there's no excess grease and put them in place. And here you can see I've got it set up. I'm just marking the holes because I'm going to pre-drill. The reason I'm going to do that is because this wood is dry and I don't want it to split, so I'm pre-drilling these holes in order to prevent splitting of the wood. The other reason I'm going to do it is because the platforms for the wheels are almost just as wide as the wood itself, so I got to kind of go in on an angle when I drill and when I put the screws in, almost like a V with the screws, the way I have to put them into the wood to avoid splitting it. So you can see the angles that I'm using there. I'm just pre-starting it on a 90 degree, and then I'm just moving the drill over to a 45 degree angle so that I'm not going to split the wood and the screws are going to hold nicely. So I've pre-drilled all of my holes, and now it's time to take the rollers and attach them. But first, I'm going to just clean up any of the excess grease that you see there. There are heavily greased, and that's good. We want that. But I don't want grease all over the place, and you'll see why in a minute. Stay tuned. So here I am cleaning off the excess grease. Just taking my rag there and just cleaning it off as best I can. I'm not going to use any kind of solvents or anything because I'm going to paint it pretty heavily. So I'm not really worried about that. So now I'm just taking those wheels and attaching them, just using my impact gun there to screw those screws in, making sure that I'm not going so tight that I'm going to split the wood, but tightening them up enough that they're good and snug and that they shouldn't need any further tightening for some time. Now keep in mind it is wood, so the more I roll them around, they are going to kind of wiggle a little bit and get a little bit loose. So in time I may need to tighten them up a little bit, but not for some time, I would imagine. They're pretty sturdy little wheels too. They take a lot more weight than this doghouse weighs, so it's really not that big a deal, I don't think. No, they'll be all right. So I've screwed on the wheels, as you can see right here.
Round and round we go.
Okay, so seriously though, they're still heavily greased, but I did clean all around them, and they all turn nice and free. And that's going to give us a decent bit of clearance off the ground, a nice air gap, and it'll make our doghouse mobile. But that's not the last step. The last step is making sure that we get some longevity out of what we've just done. We don't want this thing mucking up the first time spring comes around. We want it to make it through the winter and into next year and the year after that and so on. So a little preemptive fixing is what we're going to do to the wheels that we've just installed. Check this out.
Safety first.
So here I've just got some Tremclad paint. Just giving them some little squirts there. I don't really care if I get a little overspray on the wood because this is on the bottom. And I'm being cautious and cognizant of my surroundings. I don't want it getting on the white door either of my garage, so obviously I'm being careful. And just a little clean up there. I don't really need to, but I cleaned off any off the wheels just because I didn't want it reacting. It didn't wind up reacting at all with the plastic, so it was totally fine. Because they're just like vinyl plastic wheels or something. That's it. It's straightforward. So as you can see, the last step was thoroughly painting all the metal and the screws to make sure that we don't get any kind of excessive rusting or what have you. And I'll do this once a year. I'll just give it a little touch up to make sure. And it gives it kind of a cool little burnt look on that last little bit. Not that we're ever going to see that, because all that's going to be hidden. But that's what we're going to do. It's going to make our doghouse mobile. We'll give it a little bit to dry, and we'll give her a test run. I've wheeled it over here. So as you can see, it's off the ground. It rolls around pretty decent. The weight holds it in place though, which is good. Which allows us to still have full access. And it keeps it off the ground a good distance to prevent, any kind of rotting or whatever. So that's how you make a doghouse mobile. Yeah, that's how you do it around these parts. Put some wheels on it. Works great. And that's it. That's a mobile doghouse. It's that simple. You're just throwing down some wheels, putting them onto that doghouse. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button, and stay tuned for the next episode where I'm going to get into putting a floor and insulation in, which you actually saw I already had a little bit in there, but that's because I did the wheels after. But I decided that this made more sense to do first, which is why I made this video the first one. But anyways, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know the drill. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching again.